By 1944, the Germans were straining to hold back the Soviet advance and the Western Allies' conquest of Europe. The Luftwaffe suffered significant losses and struggled to sustain its units due to limited resources such as oil, steel, personnel, and combat equipment. Germany's High Command sponsored the Emergency Fighter Program, which intended to develop inexpensive and capable aircraft fighters in record time. In order to increase its operational aircraft numbers, the Heinkel He 162 Volksjäger, or People's Fighter, was created, offering Germany with a protective shield against Allied bomber attacks. With a new jet engine, the aircraft brought breakthrough technology, making it quicker and more nimble than many battle planes at the time. The quickly constructed wooden jet proved remarkably successful, and by the time the Volksjäger was put into battle, the Third Reich had lost the war. Despite its flaws, the Volksjäger performed spectacularly, even startling the Allied pilots. The Allied launched Operation Big Week, a large bombing campaign on Germany in 1944. Massive fleets and heavily armed aircraft equipped with extra air defense weapons posed problems to the Luftwaffe. The operation's goal was to damage aircraft manufacturing sites and Luftwaffe air bases, resulting in huge German fighter losses. Due to a shortage of resources, the Third Reich found it difficult to maintain damaged aircraft, resulting in the grounding of even good condition planes. By the summer of 1944, the Luftwaffe fighter branch had been seriously crippled, allowing Allied planes to fly freely over Germany. The German High Command required a solution quickly, since Germany would be blasted into submission in a matter of months. During World War II, Adolf Galland, a famous Luftwaffe and German ace pilot, suggested two alternatives to the German Air Force. Galland believed in better technology and engineering and proposed allocating money to the Messerschmitt Me-262's expedited manufacturing. The Me-262's experimental jet technology appeared promising, and if mass deployed, it would greatly outperform any Allied fighter, giving Germany a chance to recover air dominance. Other high-ranking Nazi leaders, including Luftwaffe chief Göring, thought that deploying the Me-262 was impossible owing to their small starting numbers and lack of maintenance resources. Instead, Göring advocated for the development of inexpensive, disposable aircraft powered by jet engines in order to gain an edge against the expensive Allied planes. By July 3, 1944, Germany had authorized the Emergency Fighter Program, which prioritized mass production of low-cost fighter planes. Following the implementation of the Emergency Fighter Program, Lufthansa was tasked with developing a new light fighter design. The Volksjäger design competition called for exact specifications: a single-seat fighter powered by a single BMW 003 jet engine and inexpensive basic components constructed of wood and non-strategic materials. The aircraft had to weigh no more than 4,400 pounds, have a top speed of 470 miles per hour at sea level, an operating endurance of at least half an hour, and takeoffs of no more than 1,640 feet. Two 20mm MG-151 cannons with 100 rounds each, or two 30mm Mark 108 cannon with 50 rounds each were listed as weapons. The VolksJager, or People Fighter, project planned to be simple to fly with glider or student pilots necessary to fly the jet in combat. Dr. Ernst Heinkel, a prominent German aircraft designer, criticized the notion of non-pilots flying the VolksJager, claiming that expecting a people's fighter was impractical. However, the competition began on September 10, 1944, with early concept due in 10 days. Mass production was planned to begin on January 1st, and the winner would be required to produce an unprecedented number of aircraft. Most German aircraft manufacturers indicated interest in the project, with firms such as Blohm & Voss and Focke-Wulf also providing ideas. Heinkel's design was chosen owing to their significant lead over competitors, since they had been designing a light fighter for almost 3 years. The VolksJager was designed by Heinkel and featured a futuristic airframe with the BMW 003 axial flow turbojet position atop the fuselage. To clear jet exhaust, twin rectangular vertical tail fins were perpendicularly placed at a 14-degree angle. The majority of the materials utilized were plywood, with metal elements used only when absolutely essential. Extending spring design and hydraulics were used to simplify landing gears and complicated systems. To save time and money, several parts and systems from previous Heinkel aircraft were repurposed. Early testing revealed that the VolksJager was a quick and agile fighter capable of attaining speeds of up to 553 miles an hour at sea level and 562 miles per hour at 20,000 feet. The German plant that produced Tego film plywood glue was destroyed by Allied airstrike, prompting the Heinkel to locate another supply. The substitute bond was discovered, however, it was extremely acidic, causing the wood to disintegrate rather than adhere. The VolksJager high-speed debut failed, forcing the pilot to land. The aileron separated from the wing during a later flight on December 10th, causing the plane to turn over and crash. The unusual slant of the tail wings produced stability problems. However, because the Third Reich had great hopes for VolksJager, manufacturing could not be delayed. Minor changes such as slightly moved center of gravity and smaller cannons were implemented. Production began in December 1944 with the goal of delivering 1,000 planes each month by April 1945. Because Nazi authorities misjudged the speed with which the Allies invaded Germany, Luftwaffe pilots and commanders fled from bases as bombs destroyed airfields. The aim of creating 1,000 VolksJager per month was never realized because the Third Reich imploded and forces dissolved because of the Allied invasion. By the conclusion of war, just 120 VolksJager had been delivered, with only a few seeing actual battle. Gunther Kushner, the pilot, shut down the Royal Air Force fighter in April, demonstrating the wooden plane's speed and agility. Following Germany's unconditional capitulation on May 8, 1945, numerous VolksJager were handed up by the Allied troops, with many being transported to France, US, and the United Kingdom for further inquiry. The qualities of the wooden plane surprised Allied pilots, with even Eric Brown of the Fleet Arm Air praising it as having the lightest and most effective aerodynamically balanced controls. Thank you for watching my video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to this channel. It really helps out this channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.